All right, hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the 1/6 Pack. I am Trevor Williams, aka 1/6 Shooter. I'm your co-host, along with, below me, the man who's ready for any contingency, TJ Fry, aka Capes and Rifles. And just below him, depending on how things are working out here, Tom DeGrazia, the all-knowing, all-seeing eye of Watu on all social media across the world. Welcome. This is the show. We're going to be talking about all things 1/6. We're going to be drinking some beer. Might talk about that a little bit too. And then we're just going to shoot the shit about stuff. So let's get going. How's it going, boys?
What's up, Trevor?
How you doing?
Mr.
What are we drinking?
Watu?
I decided to go for something a little close to where I'm from, New England. It is Boom Sauce by Lord Hobo, which is from Woburn, Massachusetts.
Nice. And what is that?
This is an India Pale Ale. So
Okay.
it's about 8% alcohol.
All right.
It's really tasty.
Wow.
So you'll be in the bag soon, which is good.
I can handle a
Hang
couple.
on.
It is
TJ,
Friday.
what do you got for us?
It is Friday. Wait, is it my turn?
Yep.
I've dapped the Rockies.
Very unusual for you,
As
TJ.
you guys know.
Man,
Oh, that is you. Let me put it that way. That's you.
I was gonna go fancier, but you know, I just really wanted to keep it real tonight.
That's cool. Next week you'll bring your
Next week we'll
your
get that.
C game. You'll bring it up from there.
yeah, he'll go to PPR or something like that. Real classy.
what's wrong with PBR?
Nothing. Like I said, you're perfect just the way you are, my friend.
You know, what's funny is I I went to the grocery store to buy PBR, and like the guy that rang me up was like, "Oh, this is my father's beer." And before that, I was like, I'd never given it much thought.
That's sad.
I was like,
That's
this is delicious. This is gonna get me where I need to get tonight.
I mean, growing up, my dad was 100% Budweiser. So, like, all our fridge was always full of just, like, we had a whole fridge in the basement that was just top to bottom Budweiser for the first top, and then the bottom half was all Bud Light, just depending on what style he wanted. So I think by the time I started drinking, I was like, okay, I had tried all the Budweiser, sneaking a couple when I was a little too young. And when I got to college, I'm like, let me see what else is out there. And I think that's why I, like, branched to, like, the Indian Pale.
So the Bud Lights for the days you're feeling a little heavy, and the regular Bud. Yeah. That's what it was back then, though. That was the 70s, man. It was that. It was Miller Lite. I can't tell you, Miller Lite's not bad, though. I had a little Miller Lite over the summer, and I was like, it's not too bad.
It's a different beer
Are
world
Are
these
you
days.
admitting that? We're talking about the Miller Lite?
Yeah, it's the summer. People bring it, and I'm
I
not
feel like
gonna
you
say
said
no.
that in confidence, but now you've just like let the whole world know.
Well, now you made me feel bad. So,
It's okay.
all right.
No,
All right. So tonight, this is from. Anybody got a what the hell's the name of that store? Trader Joe's.
Yep.
So this is a Black Toad dark ale from Trader Joe's. I didn't realize it was Trader Joe's beer.
oh, it's their own brand? I didn't even realize they had their own brand of beer.
Yeah, they got a bunch. They sell a bunch. They sell seasonal stuff. They had this elf one over the winter, which was, well, it's still winter, but Christmas. It was like, I don't know, it was like 9% alcohol. It was crazy, but good stuff. But yeah, this is pretty decent. It's a dark ale. It's winter. It's all right. All right. So this is part of the show. And then we're going to be moving on to other stuff. We're going to talk brews and news. We've kind of already talked the brews. Then we're going to talk about pickups and pre-orders and stuff that's out there that we've picked up and that we're thinking about pre-ordering and that we've already pre-ordered. And then every week or every time we do a show, we're going to have a little discussion about some aspect of collecting. So this week we're going to be talking about protecting 1/6 clothing and the kind of damage that, doesn't that make you sick, that picture? Isn't that just...
Yeah. I wish I didn't know exactly what that feels like. But
It's hurtful.
Whose picture is that?
This is something I picked up from the internet. I don't know. It's some anonymous bastard that it's just, I don't even know what jacket that is. It's unrecognizable. I can't
It's
tell.
just your typical Hot Toys faux leather jacket is what that looks like after a couple of years of having it in your display case.
Exactly. So we'll be touching on that. Occasionally we'll have guests on. We'll be talking about different aspects of things, but let's jump into, we've talked about the brews. Let's talk about some news while we're drinking some brews. So first up, If anybody was paying attention today, and I don't know who wasn't, you saw Hot Toys announced Captain Marvel from the upcoming movie. And I believe you two, am I jumping the gun, that you both pre-ordered this already?
I think I pre-ordered it within 30 seconds of that link going live.
Of course you did. Oh, you Marvel bastards. But this looks, I mean, this looks fantastic. What do you guys think?
The sculpt on her is fantastic. There is a couple small worries I'm going to have, obviously, depending on the actual release. One of the things is like her legs and all of the pictures that I've seen don't seem to have like the greatest posability.
Yeah.
Also, they're not moving.
No.
That's...
The suit doesn't look like it's the same as Iron Spider, but it does look like it's going to be that same kind of, you get a little bit of movement with maybe you stretch out the leg and your arm that's up here might start being pulled back down.
Oh, that's what happens? Do you have Iron Spider, right?
I don't. TJ.
I do. Yeah.
You do. Yeah, I was always wondering about that suit because I mean, even the regular Spider-Man suit was a little more material based, and this is that plasticky, rubbery stuff. I don't even think I have a figure that has that stuff. So how is it?
I have one. I have the Arkham City Batman.
Okay.
Same material underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, her suit looks like it's a different material to me, at least. So I have hopes about that. But it's just from all the shots that they posted, I didn't see her knee going up even higher than, I don't know, not quite. Yeah, about that.
I was just gonna say about that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course the knee pad looks like to be the Deadpool issue as well, where you start bending that too much, and then eventually you're gonna have a knee pad that either moves or just pops off, which I'm worried about.
This is my problem with these things. They're like you got to keep them in museum pose, or you're done. I mean, it's never going to come back. It's not going to. You keep it stretched. I've seen some people with Spider-Man up, some killer poses on the Detolf, and I'm just looking at it. I'm going, that's never going to come back. I mean, those knees are shot.
Yeah.
Can we talk about her hair?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, Tom, what are your thoughts on the hair?
So, okay, I am notoriously probably known for not really caring too much for rooted hair, personally.
Really?
Although, let me make this clarification. I like custom done rooted hair. If it's done by someone who knows how to do rooted hair, it's fantastic. I don't think that Hot Toys out of the box has ever done rooted hair well. No. I think synthetic hair might not either be a good material. I don't know enough about it to really know. But it's always just kind of, all of mine kind of fluff out. And I know we've talked about this in messages before, but I'm not a stylist. I'm not going to go through and style my action figures hair. So when I saw that it was sculpted, that instantly made me more excited for this figure.
Okay. All right.
I'm just worried about like the posability for that, only because I got Loki from Ragnarok, and you're not doing anything with that head.
His head, right?
It's just not moving, and it looks very similar. This Captain Marvel.
Yeah, her hair doesn't seem to be as long as Loki's, though. Loki's kind of goes over, right?
Yeah.
So you can maybe raise it a little higher on the peg to kind of look up and down, maybe. But at least on this figure, you have the other head sculpt that you can do full range.
True enough, yeah. I would not be turning the head either on any of this clothing without taking it off and moving it, I think, either, because talking about damaging clothing, that's going to ruin it right there. I
mean, good hair or bad hair, like I'm going to buy it. So.
Yeah.
It's happening.
So TJ, actually, because of exactly that issue with your Loki that you even brought up to me when you first got him, because when we get to that section later about pre-orders, I do have them coming later. So I was worried about that. I now look at every figure with long sculpted hair, and I'm like, oh, so that's not going to be that posable. I'm not going to be able to turn that head. So I did think about that as a negative, but in my head, I'm like, if I wanted to be like looking around, at least on this figure specifically, we have that second head option.
Yeah.
The hair coming
that second head looks fantastic.
Yeah, the helmeted head looks really, really good. And I was gonna say, even like with figures like I have with like Legolas from Lord of the Rings, it's the same thing. Why they didn't go with rooted hair on that, since they've done it with other things, I don't know. But it's just immobile. It's completely immobile. But yeah, the sculpted, the helmeted head looks fantastic, and it's probably how you're gonna want to display it anyway, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's going to be flying over the rest of my Avengers, kind of like blaster ready. Yeah.
So, Tom, question. So if this Captain Marvel figure did not have that second helmeted head sculpt and had longer hair, would you like consider not buying it?
So the thing is for me, Captain Marvel is one of my favorite female figures / characters from Marvel just in general. So I was pretty much sold on the figure from the get-go. I hoped that it was going to have the helmeted head, but until they showed that trailer, we weren't even sure the helmeted version of that costume was going to be in this.
Right.
And I was already kind of sold on it from that regard. I probably would still have gotten it. I am now way more excited now that it has that, especially that you have the light up mohawk as well as a regular mohawk. So like there's multiple styles.
Right.
But yeah, I think I probably still would have pre-ordered it.
Deluxe or the standard?
Deluxe.
There's no question. Deluxe. You get Goose.
For the bomber jacket and the cat.
You get the bomber jacket, which I think the bomber jacket looks great. Looks really cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. If I have a no Marvel rule. I've broken that on several occasions, but I'm really thinking about this one. I think I'm going to wait till the movie comes out because it looks great. I'm hoping it's great. But that's going to determine, I think, whether or not I get this. Maybe.
That's how I am on some, like, I mean, you have a no Marvel rule. I have, like, I try not to buy a lot of things that are going to get me into a whole nother aspect of my collection. I have a very kind of focused collection. You do. And that's why, like, the ALITA figure is on my list for potential. I need to see the movie, though, first.
Yeah.
Is that out?
Well, yeah.
Next week,
yeah.
Okay.
I gotta, like, I'm not like OCD about it, but I gotta complete this thing. So like, if I go get Star-Lord, I'm gonna need the rest of the Guardians. I'm gonna have to.
I hear you.
Because it's gonna be, be weird. That's why I sort of stick with the, single characters that, are on their own, like Logan or something like that.
Yeah, but Logan's not on his own. See, you should be going out there buying like all the other X-Men figures and stuff like that.
Well, Logan from Logan, not Wolverine. Logan from Logan, the movie. Yeah. So all I had to get is what's her face, the kid.
X-23.
23. I do have all. Well, let's not go into that. I do have some Marvel figures, and I'm just on the verge. We'll talk about that later too.
I like that blaster too in the exclusive. This photo blew me away. I'm like, look at all of those accessories. I usually, if I'm taking photos, I do all of those effects usually just digital anyway. Yeah. But man, I love when figures come with that stuff. I don't know why. I'm really excited. And
the arms are lit up, so those are going to actually look pretty good on camera. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like they're not just stick them on there and then you got to do something to make them look like they're actually glowing. I think they're going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, they've never done that before, have they? Where the actual like forearm kind of?
No, not that I know of. No, I mean except for Iron Man and the repulsor razor.
Yeah,
it's I don't think they've done anything like that. Not with the human figure. Sculpt. So that's another secret base shot there. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, Sculpt is. I think they did. I saw someone asking on one of the forums, well, how would you rate this between 1 to 10? And, I looked at it and I'm like, I think with most figures, there's always a very slight offness, but they got, like, in my mind, like this is like a 9.5. Like they are so close to getting it just right.
It's really, really
9.
Yeah, I would say almost a 9.5, 9.5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 9. Maybe a 9 more realistically. Me, I think my fanboyness is like, I'll give it that 0.5 extra. So,
what do you think, TJ?
I gave it like a 8.5. But the biggest critic we have in our household is actually my wife. She will stare at my figures and say, "That's not Tom Hiddleston."
Oh,
like, I don't know who that is.
What does she think of this? Does she see the photos?
I haven't shown her yet. She knows the actress very well, but sometimes like I'll show her a figure and like, hey, look, it's Tom Holland. She's like, it's not.
Wait, what? She doesn't think that's the Spider-Man?
Well, I mean, that was a bad example because Tom Holland is good, but like.
Because I would agree with her on the Tom Hiddleston Loki.
The Loki, like I don't know who that is. Like it's a good sculpt, but it's not Tom Hiddleston.
I would say that's like a 6.5, 7-ish on my scale because it looks good enough to pass as a Loki.
Especially if you're like it's a guy playing Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Like that's That's what that is.
Yeah.
Like the Hela. Now that I see pictures of that figure, and I still can't swear. I can't tell the difference between a photo of Kate Blanchett or if that is the Hot Toys figure of Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I forgot, like, you never got Hela, right, Tom?
Oh, and I regret it. So let's not talk about that.
Like, isn't it still like easily available?
Not on Sideshow, at least.
Oh.
She's been waitlisted on Sideshow. I checked because I was actually going to pre-order her. There was a while back that we were talking, and you were like, I think I'm feeling like I need to order a new figure this weekend. And I went on, and I was like, well, if I order one this weekend, it'd be Hela. And I went, and she was already waitlisted. So
You know, I got tricked into buying Hela.
Tricked by who?
I got tricked. I'm gonna say his name here. It's Wade 16 Bliss. So like he and I have been talking about like Hela for like, you know, days and days and days, and Matthew Weekly. And then like one night I'm telling Wade, like, you know what? Like I think I'll wait till Monday to buy Hela. And he's like, it's already waitlisted. I'm like, no, it's not. And I was like, no, it is. So I go on, I hit add to cart, check out now, and like it went through. And I'm like, hey Wade, like what happened? And he's like, no, I was just kidding. I'm like, well, like, it's coming next week. Thank you.
So Hela is your hot button, Tom. You guys, you two with your Punisher are killing me every time I see pictures of
No,
it.
that's not my Punisher.
I know, but you got to shoot it and you got to play with it, so it's close enough. I've never even touched the thing, so you know that kills me every time. So anyway,
You can come to Yonkers.
he's side by side, and it's really pretty amazing. I mean, the eyes, you know, there's different emotion in the real shot here, but I think it's pretty damn close. I mean, it's just that blonde hair is really tough to reproduce with paint, so you're never going to get those highlights and stuff. But I think they did an amazing job of this.
And in the right lighting situation, it might match up better. Like, you know what kind of photo sources they're actually painting off of when they do it. So,
Right. Yeah.
Do we think there's going to be a green suit coming in the future?
Toy Fair exclusive either this year or next year. I'm putting money on it.
I'll put money on that if the movie is a hit.
It's a Marvel movie. How is it not going to be a hit? They're all hits.
Like, it's not Iron Man 2.
And it's an easy color swap for them to do. I mean, I'm honestly just thinking of when Hot Toys does their Toy Fair exclusives, they're like, what can we do that's quick, easy, and just bang it, get it out there, and people will gladly pay $250 plus for it.
And make us money.
Yep.
Possibility. We got a lot of stuff coming out though, so who knows?
That's also true. Very true.
All right. Next up on the docket is the aforementioned ALITA Battle Angel, which is up for pre-order now. Yes, it is, right?
It is.
Okay. And what's this running, Tom? You know?
I want to say $250, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So look at it. This is kind of a custom body here because we got molded stuff right on the body. All this armor is part of the body.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. That's different.
Nothing reused. I mean, except for the base. If you want to talk about the base and I have no problem with them reusing the bases over and over again. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
At least you get a cool base with it. That's cool. And I have that same base from my Battling Captain America Civil War version. So
you're a base guy. You got bases up in the cabinets?
Not too many, actually.
Okay.
I have that Battling Captain America and a couple flight stands because I do have some of my Avengers flying above the rest. But you know, if I do end up getting ALITA, that base will make it to the display.
Yeah.
Just because it's a cool enough base.
Yeah. TJ, you a base guy or no base?
You know what? No, because I have a lot of like space issues. So I got those Amazon like 5-pack for like $9.99. Those really simple old school stands.
Okay.
I love the bases though.
Yeah. Somebody had there's some really, maybe I'll bring it up on the next show, these really cool, like $9.99 for, I think, 2 or 3 of them, that like plexiglass and different colors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really nice. They look like high-end, I mean, at least they do on eBay. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I've
so
seen
furs on this, which is pretty cool. Movable eyes, which is nice.
That's my favorite part about it, actually.
Yeah. Now this is something that I'm wondering why the hell they didn't use synthetic hair on. I mean,
You're wondering why they didn't use synthetic hair?
It's kind of perfect for. I mean, there's hardly any style to the hair. She is a synthetic being, so even if it looked a little fake, I mean, I don't know how it looks on screen. I got to look again, but I think this is a perfect sculpt or a perfect figure for real hair or synthetic hair.
This is one that when I saw it, again, like I said, I think back to TJ showing me the Loki figure, that I'm like, at least I can pose that head however I want without it affecting the suit. Because it's short.
Yes, true enough. Yeah, I mean, it works in that respect. I don't know. I go back and forth on quote unquote real hair. You know, Asmus has been doing it lately, and they've done a really good job. But it's a lot to style, and you really do have to be almost a stylist. I have hair products. I have no hair. My wife wonders why things come from Amazon. Like, why do you need this pixie gel? I don't understand.
I did want to pick everybody's brain once we get to the taking care of stuff of products that they use, because my Scarlet Witch definitely needs a trip to the stylist.
Okay, we'll talk about. We will add that on to.
I got you, Tom.
All right, good.
So yeah, that base, it looks really look hot. I mean, that is something that you're definitely going to want on the shelf. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how do you think that this clothing goes on? Do you think it's Velcroed in the back?
That's a great question.
I was wondering that same thing, and I was so glad to see it make this list of questions for here, because I have no idea. It looks like it's at least 2 separate parts.
It's skin tight. I mean, it's skin tight. I don't know how the hell.
But there's no sleeves, so it's going to be fully, like, I don't think it's going to be Velcro. I bet it's going to be a zipper in the back. It's just, you're going to put the arms straight back, wrap it over, and there's your vest.
Or forward and put it on the front.
Or forward, yeah, either way. Oh yeah, actually that makes a lot more
sense. Is it a 2-piece though, or it's got to be 2 pieces?
I think it's 2-piece, yeah.
Okay.
I think you can kind of see it right there, bottom right of her midsection.
Yeah, I think I have another shot of it here. Let's see. Oh, I guess not. I guess we're moving on.
Oh, is it Black Panther time?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, so ALITA, that's kind of a question mark for you, Tom, and TJ, not something on your radar?
I'm going to wait for the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I go to an early screening on Tuesday, so
nice.
Tuesday night I'll have pre-ordered it, or it's not going to happen. That's really it's going to go down.
So we got final images of the Black Panther that's coming out, and Tom, you have this one on pre-order, and you both have it on pre-order, right?
Yeah.
I have to say I am impressed with how well the UV light areas show up in photographs that I've seen, even during the day. Like, people are taking pictures of that where it's a well-lit area and they still have the UV lights and the suit picks it up.
Really? I haven't seen that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What do we think about the head sculpt?
I'll let Tom go first.
So
your wife think about it, TJ?
Yeah, actually.
I haven't shown her. She was downstairs on this level. Like, we have a duplex. When I think she may have walked away when she heard Tom talking about, like, his little friend. She went upstairs. I should have told you, Tom. Sorry.
His dog?
Wasn't expecting that to come from you. But I will show her. She'll probably say, "Who the fuck is that?"
What do you think, Tom?
I think that there is a difference between the final version and the prototype that they showed. I was kind of turned off at first by a couple of the blogger shots that I saw kind of going out. And then Ultra Jan Jingle Bell started releasing his. And I think he had a little bit of a softer either lighting source or something like that. And it kind of like let the sculpts show a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It looked enough like T'Challa. Again, it's not, 10 for 10 or something like that. It's not that Kate Blanchett effect, but it was good enough where I'm still happy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks good. It's definitely changed, and not for the better or the same, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. Now, this is the same kind of outfit. Now, look at the knee bend there. I mean, do you think this is the same material we're getting in Captain Marvel and the?
No.
This looks like a thinner material. It looks more like
a stretch.
Kind of like a stretch. I wouldn't say, like, TJ. Do you have the tech suit Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks to me like a cross between the red area of the tech suit Spider-Man and the original Black Panther suit.
Okay.
Which is very poseable. It would crease, but if you put it back to museum pose, in like an hour, the creases would just fade.
Okay.
So I'm this posability has me the most hyped about getting this figure in.
Yeah, this looks nice.
Can we jump back to that head sculpt for like just?
Yep, we got another one coming up. There you go.
Perfect.
No. Yep.
So, like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, the actual sculpt is different.
I think
not the
so.
paint,
I mean,
not the lighting.
A lot of times people will talk about this, and God knows people are super picky. I mean, Hot Toys is knocking it out of the park with just about every release with this stuff these days. And 5 years ago, your mind would have been blown if this was what was coming out. And now everybody's, looking at it with a micrometer and everything. And, there's differences, but lighting, I mean, you do, like you said, Tom, like one blogger will take a shot in, a soft light, and it looks completely different than somebody else's shot. So I think a lot of it has to do with that. I think, it could even come down to that here, but you can tell by like the Widow's Peak, it's a little sharper on the final than it is on the original. Even just the
Also comparing also looks different, right?
What?
Say again?
The beard?
Yep.
I wonder though if you're comparing J.C. Hong's painted prototype versus production, which is,
And that's always a problem. Yeah, that's
I feel like that beard could be the same length as just JC maybe painted a harder line further up to make it look longer.
Could be.
That's what I was wondering. That's why I just want to like talk to you guys. Like, I don't know if it's the paint. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if like they change the sculpt. Like, to me,
they changed the hair. Look at the hairline. You look at the hairline, just even on the side where it comes from the Widow's Peak to the side where it's got a little bump down there. It's not there on the original.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more accurate. I don't know that having a picture of them side by side. I'm not sure which is better.
I mean, the prototype was just like Chadwick Boseman.
You show me though both of those pictures separately, and I would instantly know that's Chadwick Boseman.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I am not upset by the sculpt as it's coming out.
No, I wouldn't be either. Definitely not with this one anyway. Definitely not.
I heard people like figuring that the sculpt that we're actually looking at on the left here is the one that was supposed to come with the King T'Challa regular throne room clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know.
That's still happening?
I mean, at this point, I feel like they would have announced it because now we already have the throne coming out on its own.
Right.
No T'Challa figure to kind of go with it.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. All right. What do we got next here?
Oh, yeah, ARWEN.
ARWEN. So, Tom, you're not into the Lord of the Rings stuff. Are you into Lord of the Rings, if not the figures?
I love Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Let me tell you, like, this is probably my favorite trilogy. It's hard to say, especially when I'm talking with Star Wars people. Like, here, I want to say it's my favorite trilogy of all time, but
it's my favorite trilogy, Tom.
Okay, all right, cool. Because the original trilogy Star Wars will always have a special place in my heart.
Yes.
But the way how they smashed Lord of the Rings, the movies, out of the park when that came out, I was blown away.
Yep.
I have not moved to the figures yet for a couple reasons. But I will tell you, the Thorin and the Gimli both are tempting me on massive scales.
Dude, you got to pick them up now. You got to get them now.
Gimli, so good.
Gimli, you're not going to be able to find pretty soon, and that Thorin is just about as good. I think we're going to talk about that with the pickups and pre-orders a little later. But
yeah, I want to hear your
killer stuff.
Thoughts.
What I like about Asmus is that they'll listen to people. They'll put out a pre-sculpt. They'll show their work. And people will, as they will, they'll take it apart and they'll be like, this is wrong. The eyebrows are a little small, blah, blah, blah. And they did that with this, and they went back and they fixed it. And I think they did a pretty good job. I still think the eyes are a little small here.
Is this the updated?
This is the updated, yeah.
Do you have a photo of the original, perhaps?
I do. I think I have it coming up, I think, in here somewhere. But the thing with them is their clothing. I don't think even Hot Toys approaches. I mean, I don't know what they do from a superhero standpoint, but with this type of clothing, the intricacy and the details, it's just they do a fantastic job.
Have you never held the Doctor Strange Hot Toy in hand, Trevor? Let me tell you.
I haven't yet, but that's another one that's tempting me. It's getting close, and I know it's going to go. I know it's going to go on wait list, and I know I'm going to kick myself. So I think I'm going to have to break my rule again in order to.
There are those times when they shock me with their level of detail in clothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Asmus, it's different because you are dealing with a lot of elven, old school curvature and a lot of fine detail that you can't just do in plastic. You have to do embroidered goods, and they pull off stuff that just it looks phenomenal.
Like the fur on Thorin's jacket, it's to scale. It looks great. They do a fantastic job with this period stuff. It's really, really good. And this looks really good. It's not as intricate or detailed as some of the others, but it looks good. And they got like half hair and half. Now this is a nice idea. I mean, it doesn't.
I was wondering that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't know if that's what I was looking at. Was half sculpt, half rooted, and I guess it is.
Yep, the top half is sculpted, the back is rooted, and the sides are rooted. Now, the sides I could take or leave, but at least you can move the head, you know. So
truth, and I actually think that this, if Hot Toys or other 1/6 creators adopted this kind of style of half and half, I would be more apt to want more rooted stuff.
Yeah,
because my main problem with the rooted is a lot of where it connects right here to the head.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard, and then, like you said, it can only be done well if somebody is doing that by hand and literally gluing or rooting individual hairs, or at least small groups of individual hairs. So otherwise, it looks terrible. But they did a great job here. This is the original, and on the left, and that's the new one on the right. So you can tell.
I can definitely see the differences that they pulled.
Yeah, it looks like it's hard to say, but I think the cheek area is different. The eyes are a little bit wider and maybe a little bit further apart. It's very, very subtle. I just think they need a little more of a wider eye, I think. I mean, she's got some big eyes.
Yes,
so that needs to change. If they're going to change at this point, I don't know. They're like I said, they listen to people, but they did change it at this point, and I know they have schedules to meet, so that may be what we're going with. And I'm, again, like the Black Panther, I'm fine with it. It's good. It's not 100%, but I'd order it. $190. The pricing's great for the clothing.
The price point is fantastic, and that's one of the reasons why I'm very tempted to get the dwarves that I really want for my collection, because the price point is great.
Jump in now, because I know that since they had success with Gimli, and the rooted hair on that is unbelievable. That will blow your mind. It's amazing. And now that they've done that with the braids, they're going to go back, and that's the other thing they do, is they'll go back and re-release it as a slim version with like a less accessories, and they'll also allow people who bought the original to buy a new sculpt with I know they're going to do Gandalf with rooted beard, and they're going to do Legolas with rooted hair. I know
that's going to be so cool.
it's coming. It's definitely going to come.
Gandalf would be another one that would make me jump into.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, anybody a Doctor Who fan?
I like Doctor Who.
You know that about me, Trevor. We talked about Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But now, if you haven't watched the Fourth Doctor, though, you got to watch the Fourth Doctor.
No, I have not seen any Doctor previous to 9. So very much, that's why I don't consider myself a Whovian, because I feel like I cannot say that without knowing pre-Who stuff. So
go back and watch Tom Baker. He's the best. Anyway. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying her. It's been really, I'm a little bit behind. I think I've only watched the first 4 or 5 episodes, but really digging it. This is a big chief. They've been up and down with these things. Few of them have
mostly on the down.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of too bad.
Yeah.
But I think they did a pretty good job with this one.
I need to see the production version, though, because their prototypes versus production photos always look wildly different.
I know. That is a problem.
I've seen your shots, Tom.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I do like Jodie as the 13th Doctor. I watched the whole series. I watched the New Year's Day special.
Yeah.
I am not. I think that a lot of Doctors come into their own in their second season.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first season, a lot of trying to figure out who they are.
Right.
So I'm very excited to see, and I'm glad that after the showrunner disputes and all that stuff kind of happened this season, that she is coming back for next season. So hopefully we get more. I'm not in it for this version, but we'll see where it goes. But I think that they did a nice job with the figure so far.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It's one of the better looking ones since I don't know. What would you say was the best one of the last 3 or for?
So I was very let down on the 10.
Yeah.
I did think that their 12 showed a
That
really
was
good
Matt, right?
10 was Matt Smith. Or no, sorry, 11 was Matt Smith. 10
Right.
is Tennant.
Right.
And 12, which is 12 and 10 are my two favorite of the Doctors I've seen.
Yeah.
I thought the sculpt was really good. I think their paint apps on the final production version lacked greatly.
That's the key, I think. I think you could repaint any of these and they look really good.
Yes, agreed.
But then you're spending another $200 on top of everything else. So this one I think this is a signature edition, and this is, I just calculated from the British price, $310, but this has an autograph with it. So I don't know, what's the normal price of these? These going for like $240,
They go for the exact same price as Hot Toys these days. They're looking for $250, and which I think that with their QA, it's too much for what they're asking.
I know it's tough, and you know, I know some of these guys, and it's like they do make it. I mean, they're not making it in the UK, obviously, but they're based in the UK, and it's, you know, it's expensive. There's a lot of back and forth traveling and things like that, and they're a small company. I mean, they're a distributor. They're like Sideshow, so they're like Sideshow was back about, you know, maybe 10 years ago. So it's tough. It's tough to meet those numbers and get those prices low and make a profit, but.
But I think that if they are going to do that, that they have to be more diligent about, if they show this in the prototype,
yes,
finished product has to look that good. Because I would spend $250 on a product that's not Hot Toys as long as what I thought I was getting is what I got.
Yeah.
But when I opened up the box and saw what looked like a melted David Tennant, I was upset. I was very upset. I was very vocal about it too on my page. So.
Maybe you just sat outside too long. Let me call them. No, that's it. Damn it. Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and you know, again, it is partly where they're located, and the same the Sideshow with some of their stuff that they're in the U.S. Yes, it's made overseas, but a company like Asmus is overseas. You know, so they're in Asia, so. It's a little easier to make that profit. But I mean, when you can sell a figure like Gimli for $200 and it's got die cast metal axes and it's got that braided hair, you got to try to find a way to make something like this be like 190, you know what I mean? 180, something like that.
Like Asmus doing Gimli for the 200, and then they have Hot Toys charging, what was it, 250 for Rocket Raccoon? I mean,
yeah.
Come on, you tell me what the better deal is out of those two.
Exactly. So this is an interesting thing. I don't know if anybody, you guys are collecting the Game of Thrones from 3.0 stuff. I have a few. I have some. Yeah, I got more than a few. I got a bunch.
So you're gonna get Drogon then?
Hell no.
Yes, you are.
Hell no. First of all, I don't have room for this thing. I've got to be tempted if it was in the 700 range, but at double that price, I don't know, man. I don't know what the market is for this, but
if it's next to Daenerys and he's in scale, that is a very big statue, and big statues these days cost.
It is huge.
Plus,
it is true. If you put it as it is a statue, and it's a giant statue, and it's a very detailed, painted statue. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's still, I don't know. It still feels.
It's too rich for my blood. I completely agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
It's not an accessory I'm gonna drop over $1,000 on just to go next to my $300, $250 Daenerys figure.
Well, the problem is that the Daenerys is like not even great. It's not even a good looking figure.
Do you have it?
It needs I got it. It needs a ton of work. It really needs another paint job. Another company who will drop the ball from the production shots or from the preliminary shots to the production work. And some of it is good, and they really dropped the ball on this. I mean, it looked really good in previews, and it came out, and everybody pulled it out and said, "What the hell is this?" It's not good. The body is strangely sized, and the hair looks good, but the face isn't anywhere near as detailed as the prototype was.
Even her hand in this photograph that you have up right now, her hand compared to the size of her forearm, it looks like they grafted a baby's hand onto an adult body, and I don't know what's happening.
Yes, exactly. It's just things like that, and it's like, it just, I don't know. I like, you know, the dragons were good. I got the deluxe one with the dragons, little baby dragons, not this one. But it's like, if that had been good, I still wouldn't be dropping $1,400 on this. But if it, like, again, if it was $800 or $900, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Actually, let me ask you, Trevor, since we're talking about this kind of price range and on a figure that's almost a statue, did you pre-order or are you getting the Sideshow Jabba the Hutt 6 scale?
No, because I have the original Sideshow Jabba the Hutt.
Okay.
He's somewhere up here. You can see him. But yeah, I have the original. And frankly, I mean, I like some of the stuff on that one. The paint looks to be, I don't know, there's debate about the paint, whether it is better or not. I like the different heads. That was interesting. But this is a great piece, this one. And it cost me some money because shipping this thing from anybody is a fortune. So once you have it, good luck getting rid of it unless somebody lives in the next town, because it's fucking huge. But that was, at the time, I think when I bought it with all the little creatures, packs and stuff, and I think I was like $800, and it's $800 now, right? The new one is like $800, I think.
Is he? I thought it was a little bit more. I thought that with taxes and everything like that, he equaled out to an even grand.
Oh, wow, I don't know, maybe.
I'm talking about shipping and taxes included.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's.
But even
I live in Los Angeles.
Right.
Those tax gear is 10%. So you have to add basically on an $800 figure, that's $100 add on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're 8% here, so I know the pain. And now that's all taking place online too, which sucks. Not to mention it's Sideshow, which the shipping is usually a little outrageous.
For you guys, but that's where I get to save money, because Sideshow is an hour up the street. That it usually costs me $15 to get figures.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
And it arrives in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, very close. Very
Wow.
close.
Very nice. Very nice. There are benefits besides the weather.
Yeah. When you said winter was over, I was totally with you. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's like,
oh yeah, it's winter. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that.
Hey, it got down to the 50s last week. Okay, so it was cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you break out the parka?
Do you have a heater?
I have not. I turned on the heat when I had the flu, but other than that, I've not turned on the heat this winter.
All right. Just want to make sure you're coping well.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, TJ.
No problem. I see that hoodie.
Hey,
it's about 45 degrees right now, so.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a little crazy. I don't see, you know, the comments I saw about it were like, you got to be out of your mind. But you know, like you said, it is a statue. It's a big ass statue, and you know, I have a feeling it'll probably be on sale in 6 months, but we'll see.
I will say, seeing that Daenerys next to him right now, that looks like a 6-inch figure next to a big statue. Knowing that that is a 12-inch tall,
right?
That is a big dragon.
I'm just looking at her next to. She's actually happens to be standing next to Jabba. We're sort of in the proximity, and that's about the same thing with his stand and everything. If she reached her hand up, she'd be touching one of his many chins.
Okay.
So it's probably.
I was worried about where you're going to go with that.
Yeah, no. It's not getting weird. But yeah, so that's that. Interesting, but not for me. So let's talk about this. What are our odds on this one? Tom, you and I were talking about this a little bit online.
Yep. And I'll say now what I said then, we'll definitely see it at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think we're going to see it beyond that.
Right. TJ, what do you think? Yes? No?
Man, like they made Electro, like they got it.
And they learned their lesson, I think.
Yeah, but that movie, come on.
I agree. Yeah, no, that was the worst superhero movie outside of maybe Suicide Squad that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. But, I mean, until you pointed it out, because I don't collect a lot of Marvel, I didn't even realize the lack of villains that they haven't had. It's pretty amazing.
They still do. They do a bunch. I mean, we got Ultron. We got
Avengers
versions. Say again?
From the Avengers. There's
Whiplash, 2 different versions. That's Iron Man 2.
That's right. They did do. Oh, that's right.
We got a villain from every Iron Man movie. We got Ironmonger. We got Trevor, I guess, who was calling himself the Mandarin.
Right.
You know, they pick and choose. We got the Red Skull from Captain America.
which is awesome, just like one of the best.
I'm so happy I have that figure now. That is a dream come true.
Me too.
But yeah, it's the offshoot ones that, especially with Spider-Man, that surprised me. They showed the Vulture. A lot of people were excited about that, but it was just so big. I don't know if you guys had the chance to see it in person. Seeing it in person, it was like, it was massive. And I'm a tall person. I'm 6'3", so like this is huge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way they're going to make it just because it would cost $500 to order.
The packaging alone is going to be enormous for something like that, unless you make it piecemeal, and then it's probably not going to be. I was really disappointed in that, because that's probably something that I would have gotten just because of the sheer detail on it. It was really cool looking, and I thought it was a great villain.
They actually even had like you were talking about with Gimli or Thorin, actually. I think it was Thorin. The fur collar, like it looked really good on that figure. Like it was to put that much detail into the prototype that we will never see on shelves or in collections. It's just sad because I want it.
I wonder if there's any benefit to it being Jake Gyllenhaal, and if there's any, you know what I mean?
It's a possibility.
Good-looking guy. He's also kind of a geek hero.
Yep.
Many roles. So maybe it's a better seller because of that.
Michael Keaton versus Michael Keaton. Beetlejuice, Batman. Like, I mean,
true. Beetlejuice and Batman. Yeah, I mean, Batman is. Yeah, I mean, I know.
Mr. Mom. I mean, Jesus.
True, Mr. Mom is. Yeah, or what was the snowman one? Wasn't there a snowman?
Oh, there was. Was that Jack?
Jack Frost. Jack Frost. Right.
Publicity. I mean, talk about hero.
Right. I mean, here's the aforementioned Vulture, which looked unbelievable. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe they're doing this with the wingspan.
You can't even get a photograph of the full wingspan without that figure being this tiny little thumbnail.
Right. So, all right, I'm gonna give it a green light and say it's gonna happen. What do you think, TJ?
Going with a yes.
Okay. Tom?
I'm gonna go with a no, but I want to be surprised. I want that to happen and be shocked.
Good.
I have a feeling it's going to be a Rhino, a Yellow Jacket, a what's his name from Captain America 2? I'm blanking on Crossbones. Like it's going to be one that we see and then taken from us.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say it's a March 2020 release.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's a summer figure. The movie's coming out right around the time of, I think, the movie comes out
July, right?
July. So same month as San Diego. Perfect time to show it. We'll see if we get that pre-order.
Yeah. That's going to come out, and so is the Romero Joker. The Romero Joker is going to happen.
I forgot about that.
I really hope so. I see that picture a lot, and that photograph looked great, and it's a shame.
So good. And those two figures, that Batman and Robin, are such great figures.
Yeah. I never watched the classic Batman series except for a couple episodes growing up.
Oh, really?
I watched a couple, but like my Batman, I grew up with the animated series Batman being my, besides the comic book one, that was my on-screen, and you couldn't get better than that in my mind. So when I would watch the Adam West ones, though I think today I would appreciate it in the way that I appreciate classic Star Trek.
Yeah.
I never got into it, so I didn't get them. But I love it.
That was Batman, and there was no other superhero stuff on besides the black and white Superman at the time. And it came on before my time on TV, but like I watched the reruns in the afternoon, and my dad would come in and like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "It's Batman. It's so cool." He's like, "This is a joke." It's like these are like B actors, and it was all supposed to be camp when it came out. And I'm like, "It's so cool. What are you talking about? This is great."
But that's the great thing about Batman. There is a Batman for every person. There's a comedy Batman, there's a dark Batman, there's the detective Batman, and there's animated all of those have roots in the comics. So there's no wrong Batman.
True.
That's what I love about that character.
True enough. Now, did you pick up just side note, did you pick up the 1/6 animated from
I did not from Mendo. I didn't for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
It didn't grab me the way how I've seen I don't know, Seattle Geek has an amazing one done by Tony May.
Tony Mays is awesome. Yeah, I know.
That is, if I were to get one, it would be that one. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was a little upset that it was all plastic, but it did look pretty cool, and the Mr. Freeze looked amazing too. So.
I love I would honestly almost get the Mr. Freeze, but at this point, I'm kind of buying the Arkham series. That I'm kind of hoping that they do the Mr. Freeze from that.
Gotcha. You like the Bane? We didn't talk about that. We don't have that in here, but do you like the Bane?
The Bane, which Bane?
From the Arkham? I think it's from Arkham, isn't it? From the Bane from what's the one they're coming out with? Oh no, that's.
You're talking about Storm Collectibles.
That's 12th scale. Sorry, never mind.
Which, by the way, secretly we're not talking about right now, but I'm 100% buying that Bane.
Okay. So let's talk about
collectibles fan over here.
Let's talk about pickups and pre-orders, and we're starting with you, Tom, which is good because TJ left for a second.
Disappearing on us. Yeah. So the latest figure I got is T'Chaka. He was the last one for me to get here. I think he came after Infinity War Thor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gorgeous shots, man, and this looks hot. I mean, really, really hot.
Thank you. I'm a sucker for Black Panther. I really like that character a lot. I like the world. I feel like they smashed it in the movies. And the second I saw this figure on screen opening night, I looked over at my friend. I'm like, if Hot Toys does it, I am buying a figure of that. And that's one of those figures I never thought we'd see. And when they announced it for the Toy Fair exclusive, I'm like, day one, pre-order. Yeah. I didn't expect that to still be available today because, in the past.
I know. It's surprising. And I've had it in my cart probably half a dozen times, and I haven't pulled the trigger yet. It just
looks one that would look great in your nature setups that you do.
I know. It'd be great to shoot. I mean, it does lend itself to just natural environments like you do, like within this bottom shot. Because it works. I mean, it just works. You put a little something, even if it's out of scale, out of focus in the background, a little bokeh, looks fantastic.
It's just like the gold.
I'm going to go on the rabbit hole of the Avengers, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to have,
But he's not an Avenger. He's from a completely different timeline entirely. So you're safe. You buy him, you're done.
That's true. He's kind of
really safe. You should buy him.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I have the first Avenger, Captain America. Timeline-wise, those guys could probably team up. Am I right?
Yes, actually, yeah, because he's technically still Black Panther around that time.
Sold.
Done. Yes.
I think this is going to be my regrets not picking up this T'Chaka.
Well, you still have time, TJ. You still have time.
What? You still have time?
Yeah, he's still out there. You can still get him.
I will say, if we could talk about T'Chaka for just 1 second, I do have one negative that I could say about that figure. And it is when they first showed off that figure, and even before they showed off that figure, the thing that I was one of the most excited for about it was the fact that he wears cloth pants. So I'd be like, oh, I could have him posed in like a really kind of spread out, like pose in my display case without having to worry about ruining a suit.
Right.
But what does Hot Toys do when they make the figure? They put the full Black Panther suit from Civil War on underneath the cloth pants. So I know in my head I am ruining another suit underneath the suit that it's on top. So I don't, he's just kind of standing there like this. So that's my only.
You're never going to see it, and it would be like, who cares? But someday it's going to be like, I ruined this figure.
Because if it does eventually tear around the knees, it's going to start to bunch up in the midsection or something like that, and I'm not going to know it until it's too late. So I'll try not to worry about or make it worse.
So you picked up Thanos?
Yes, I'm weak. I have been trying to hold out for the Endgame full armored with Infinity Gauntlet version, but I wanted them to announce it before this guy hit the streets because I had a feeling the second he got his shots released via the bloggers, which shockingly happened this morning, that it was going to be just days before he's gone. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling he looks gorgeous. He was one of those figures at this year's Comic-Con. Walking through Sideshow, he grabbed me from across the hall.
Yeah.
I saw him on a display case towering above all the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I just beelined it right up to him. And I'm like, that is a display piece, like something that stands out above the rest.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I don't know if you can see him back there, but like right here is Gladiator Hulk.
Yep.
And just like that Gladiator Hulk, like he's going to be an imposing piece in the collection. So I need
Yeah, he looks hot. I mean, I saw him at New York Toy Fair or the Comic-Con, and Yeah, it's amazing looking up close. It's just incredible.
That sculpt is on point. That's going to be one that actually I saw some shots today from Ultra Ben, who posted one that I honestly could swear that's not any action figures in that shot. That is a shot from the movie. It looks like him perfectly.
Yeah, and the light up features with the glove and stuff are really, really cool.
Fully articulated fingers.
Another one that I'm like, God, I really need to get into this Marvel stuff, but
it's a dark.
I don't think it's going to be. I mean, I think it'll be gone within the next couple of months. I don't think it's going to sell out immediately, but
the price point is a tough one. I totally get that. I had some reward points through Sideshow, so I burned those to kind of cut the cost a little bit. So.
Right. Plus, of course, you can always just run up the street and grab it, and
I wish they allowed people on campus, because I would be there every day. Like, please, I may have another.
Now, Darth Maul, I don't have a picture of it, but you got Darth Maul coming too?
Yep, that was probably my hot toy of the show that they announced this year at Comic-Con, that I was like, I've always wanted a Darth Maul. I love that design of that character. He's one of the few things from the prequels that I actually liked.
Me too.
And I honestly, I've always loved the Sideshow version of him. But the fact that Hot Toys is like, here, have a second head, here, have a Sith speeder. I got the deluxe.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the fence about it. The Sideshow one is probably one of the best figures they've done. It's really good. I ended up getting a robe for it from the original one that they had, and it looks great on there.
Does he not normally come with the robe?
No, the Sideshow one, the what do they call it? The Battle of Naboo did not come with a robe.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a real bummer, but like I found one of the original Sideshow ones that comes with a robe, which is surprisingly well made, and it works. So I'm kind of happy with him, but I love the sculpts. I don't know if I get the speeder anyway. I'm not really sure. I'm really not a prequel fan, although at this point I have 3 Anakins.
What?
I don't know why, but I have 3 of them.
What?
Let's start from the day.
What's the third one? So you got both versions of the Hot Toys, I take it.
Really quickly, I got a custom one a while back.
That's right. Okay.
And it's really nice, and I'm loath to get rid of it, but I ended up getting the regular version just because I like the sculpt a lot better than the custom. And then the Sith one came out, and I'm like, shit, I really want that sculpt. So I'll get that. I'll sell the rest of the pieces, and kind of make my money back on that. But now I'm sitting on 3 of them, and I gotta make a move.
That's too much Hayden Christensen for any collection.
Yeah. And you got John Wick coming.
Easily my most anticipated 1/6 scale pre-order, and it's funny because I am clearly like such a Marvel guy.
Yeah,
I mean Marvel stuff everywhere. And that John Wick is my most anticipated, and I almost didn't even pre-order him. But the more and more I kept thinking about it, and the more and more I kept thinking, the second I thought about the figure, I'd instantly have 5 different photography ideas.
Yeah.
And all new every time. And I'm just like, man, this figure is so cool. And then the second they showed Keanu Reeves with the figure itself, I'm like, sold. Take my money. I just like threw it all at the screen.
Yeah, see, John Wick for me, like, there's just sidetracking into photography for a second, because I know not everybody watching is into photography, or into the collecting and photography. But John Wick for me I would like him as a 1/12, and I think Mezco's actually doing it. Is that?
Yep, they are. Yeah.
You got Mezco, you have SH Figure Arts, you have a couple of different versions to come.
Oh, yeah, that's right. SH Figure Arts is doing one. Like for me, to be able to take the bad guys from some suit guys or something from Marvel and put that in a shot is just in an environment is a lot easier than it would be for the 1/6 scale. Even though I love the detail and it would be great to do some close-up shots of him.
That's the thing that for me, it's like him kind of like lurking around a corner with like guns in.
It's gonna look hot. It's gonna look great. I can't wait to see him. It's gonna look really good.
Very excited for that. Very.
And ALITA is a question mark until the movie comes out. So
the movie comes out. But funny enough that John Wick and ALITA are right there side by side, because I don't know why in my head I'm like, I want to photograph them together. I don't know why, but I feel like the black leather suit would be
great. Yeah.
So
it's going to be hot to photograph for sure. Who's up next here? Oh, it's me.
You.
So So yeah, Bilbo and Thorin. I'm going to leave Bilbo for you, TJ, because you got him on yours. But Thorin, again, just to reiterate, amazing figure. Clothing's incredible. The hair. You really have to be a stylist for this thing. I've got a lot of wax in it, and
Have you?
still working on it. It's really unruly, and he's got a lot of curly hair, and this is a little more straight. So I'm gonna have to put it up like my grandmother did.
Wait, slightly off topic, but do you think more dwarves are going to be released? What are the chances?
Knowing Asmus is deep into this, and it's one of their main franchises that's like really, they had like the Hateful Eight, and they've got like the Mask and things like that are kind of tertiary. And they're not done with Lord of the Rings. I think they're going to reissue some of the orcs and things like that, but I think they might. I don't know.
You got Boromir, so why wouldn't you get Philly and Killy, like some of the dwarves that really were bigger in the
True. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I think they will, probably. Depending on how well these sell, I could see it happen. Yeah.
Huh.
Also picked up the deluxe Last Jedi Luke Skywalker, which is the best Luke Skywalker to come out from Hot Toys.
Yeah. Really?
Sculpt wise, yeah. Definitely.
He's gorgeous.
I'm a fan, but surprised to hear that from you.
Yeah, sculpt wise. I mean, they have not nailed the sculpt on anything yet. I thought The Force Awakens was pretty good, better than most people thought it was. Not Chris Christopherson, I didn't think, but this one is really, really perfect. And the accessories you get with it are great. I just wish it came with the big fish. That would have been really cool for a show.
That would be awesome.
I'm going to have to make one. Somehow.
I wish that milk bottle was removable.
Yes, I know.
What is it attached to the hand?
I haven't even dug him out yet. Like, he's still in the box, so I got to get him out.
You're here saying that he's the best Luke Skywalker that Hot Toys has done. You haven't even took him out of the box yet?
I've taken him out. I've looked at him. I haven't posed him. I haven't put them all together. This is like an hour worth of putting stuff on, taking the head off, and getting that cape all fixed. It's just like it's daunting. But I did take him out of the box. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a gorgeous one, and I have a lot of the new trilogy Star Wars figures, and I've been thinking about that version specifically because I really like the darker color.
Did you grab him?
I did not. No.
Oh, okay.
I've been just contemplating him. I am shocked to see what's next on this list, though. I did not know this.
Well, yeah.
I was with Tom at New York Comic Con, and I saw this happen.
Oh, did it happen?
You were right there. You were right there. I got suckered because they did that thing where they gave you the code, and I had people like texting me like, dude, can you get me a code? Can you get me a code? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get you a code. I'm like, I don't think that's a big deal. I think that, it's going to be available without the code, but yeah, I'll get you a code. It's waitlisted now, and it's really cool looking. I always loved Tron.
Yeah.
And never had an Iron Man, and now I see the appeal of Iron Man. I mean, it's amazing the way they put these things together, and the metal ones. It's really cool.
You can't get better. So when I first started collecting Hot Toys, they weren't really doing the die-cast Iron Man at the time.
Right.
So I had Mark 7. And then when I finally got my first die-cast Iron figure, which happened to be War Machine, it made my Mark 7 look like a bargain basement bin like figure. Then I'm like, what is this crap compared to this die-cast like magnificence? Right. What body is the Neon Iron Man on? Is it on the Mark 4?
I couldn't tell you because this is like Boba Fett. I'm a little bit more versed in terms of armor and differences. Yeah. The Iron Man, I'm just like, I don't know what mark it is. I have no idea.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what Boba Fett mark is what. And so
Iron Man, you could probably start a mile away. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know, but it's got the wings, the little.
Does it have? It doesn't have rocket paddings on the shoulders, right? It doesn't have like things that open up.
It's got the flip up rockets, I think, on the shoulders.
I thought it was a Mark 4, but maybe it's it's no way it's a 7.
I don't know. I know it's hot looking though, and I'm now I'm frightened that I'm gonna want something else. But I think what I might do is might just take pictures of it and I might just sell it. I don't know. Maybe once I get it out, I'm gonna love it and I'll put it on the shelf next to Captain America, and then who knows.
It's a cool looking figure, for sure.
Arya Stark from 3-0 looks pretty good from the Game of Thrones. One of the better looking figures, I think, actually. They did a good job with this.
One that's definitely going to need some styling, though, because a lot of the stuff I saw in the hair looked really poofy.
It looked pretty good. I actually pulled it out of the box, and it looked okay, but it's going to need a little work. Yeah, they all need a little work, little wax and stuff, but not bad. I mean, a good sculpt, and the proportions are good. I like it. It's nice. This thing I cannot freaking wait for. I missed the Netflix one, and I'm not going to miss this. This is awesome looking, I think.
That is one when you pulled it up on the very first slide of what we're talking about. I'm like, every time I see the photo of it, I think when they announced it, I was like, oh, I'm pre-ordering this. And then the second it went up, I'm like, I was able to resist the urge. But the more I see pictures of it, the more I want it. I'm only able to resist the urge because I'm going to Frankensons next weekend, and I'm going to be hunting for that Netflix like it's no tomorrow. So
you're going to have it anyway. So like you're still going to be taunting me with it. So
I mean, I hope, and I'll gladly taunt you with it if I can actually have it. So
well, if you happen to find two, Tom.
Okay, I'll let you know. What's your price point? Actually, I really want to know this because I haven't.
What are they going for now? They're like 300 now.
Well, they are well above 300. eBay pricing right now on that fella is about 450. So,
really?
Yeah, that I've been able to find him for. Get out of here, TJ.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, for real.
You know, for a few minutes, I was like, you guys see me? But now I know you do see me.
Yeah, I know. My only consolation is that they're canceling it, and hopefully it'll just tank in price in like a year and a half.
Yeah, I think that'll just make it go the opposite direction.
I know. That's the thing. Yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that War Machine Punisher looks fantastic. I'm really excited for this entire line that they're doing off of the Future Fight game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something crazy.
About the human sculpt, it's not bad, but I just love the whole thing as a whole. So.
What's your craziness, TJ?
I hate that War Machine Punisher.
Get out of here. Go home. Oh, wait, you're home.
No, I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. Like, I buy Hot Toys because they're made based on like an actor from a movie, right? And like, I look at this thing and like, who is that? Like, what is that?
I'm with you.
That's the only reason like I hate it.
Did the comic versions from Sideshow?
It's hard to
but like it's their interpretation. It's kind of like the Mezco stuff. It's like their interpretation of whoever this character is.
See, now, TJ, you can't say that you're upset at Hot Toys for making a figure of that, because I mean, you can just buy what you want to buy and not buy what you don't.
No.
I buy Hot Toys because I love the characters, whether or not they're in a movie or not. So I'm from
the school of like, hey, like buy what you want. Like, not like there's a lot of groups out there where like people spend a lot of time like hating on figures. Like don't buy it. Like it's as simple as that. Like I'm just not a fan of this particular Punisher.
Okay.
Because it doesn't resemble anybody. However,
does it resemble the model from the game though? Because it is
familiar with the game. Maybe that's where I'm at a disadvantage. But however, like with that being said, if they made a Spider-Man version of this, like I'd probably be tempted.
Yeah, were you interested?
I'm all about Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man video game ones, like the Spider-Punk?
No, I draw the line at Spider-Punk.
But what about the
regular suit?
The other one, with the white stripes, whatever.
Call it the advanced suit.
Advanced suit? Yeah.
So you like that, even though that's not based on an actor.
There's no sculpt. There's no head sculpt.
So it's the fact that he comes with a head sculpt that you hate.
You know, like, sure. I feel this is like a.
You want to lay down?
Like a action figure.
They're all action figures. That's what they are.
Your father, like, yeah, no, yeah.
It's getting hot.
I like him, Trevor. I'm with you. I like him.
TJ will like him as soon as I start taking shots of him. Then
and you know what? I'm gonna now have to pre-order him just so we could double team TJ with photos and blast him with it.
When I'm done with him, yeah, I know. All right.
Get out of here, TJ.
Yesterday's news. So, and the final one I pre-ordered was, and you know, I don't know how you feel about this, Tom, but the Stan Lee from Woo Toys, because again, Stan Lee was something I had in my cart like 6 times, and I didn't buy it, and now it's another thing that's $400 or $500, $600 at this point. And I just want a representation. It's not great. It is what it is, you know. So I'm getting.
I have the Hot Toys version. I will not fault anybody for wanting another Stan Lee. My only problem with that specific figure is I think all the proceeds should go to the Hero Fund or something like that that promotes comic creators or something. The fact that someone is taking...
I know.
That's the only thing about it that I don't like.
Well, but that's going to be a topic that we'll talk about. And I was telling TJ before we got on, I was like, that I'm with you with that stuff for the most part. And it did weigh on me a little bit. And I'm like, should I even bother with this? Should I do this? And
but you're going to do that man justice with the photographs that I know you're going to end up taking with him, and you're going to do his legacy.
Yeah.
The service that for someone like you, I want to fully support you having a Stan Lee figure. Yeah. So.
And believe me, if I could find something, or if I suddenly became flush with the money, I would buy the original because I really like the original. You know, we'll see. Maybe one of these days. Maybe I'll trade the Neon Iron Man for that.
And your 4 Anakins.
And my 4 Anakins, yes. That should pay for that, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, brother, what do you got here? Bilbo, tell us about Bilbo.
Bilbo. So I really like the figure. I started reading Lord of the Rings with The Hobbit. I think a lot of people may have. So like I had to pick it up, and like one night I found it from a seller on like in New Jersey. So like I bought it. So I got it in like.
Oh really?
The only thing I have 2 things. I have 2 beefs with this thing. Is like the hair is kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Not more than a little.
Or what's the letdown about it?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like rooted hair would not have been better, but like the sculpted hair is just, it's off. Like I can't really put my finger on it. It's just, it throws me off. But like,
I don't want to jump in on it. But yeah.
Walking stick.
Yeah,
like
the walking stick is a bummer. The hair, I'm just gonna jump in for 2 seconds on your thing because I did this in my review. It comes off like very helmet-like. It's 2 parts in the front and the back. You can see the gap. It's not great. And if you look at him in the movies, he's got wispy that just kind of flow. And a lot of times there's a lot of forehead. There's just no forehead here, and it comes off looking like a helmet. And it's really weird. I think the likeness is very good. It's not
they got the likeness.
Very good. I think the hair just kills this thing. I've seen it haired. Somebody did a custom version, and it looks great. So,
was that Ramir?
I will say this might be a testament to both you gentlemen as photographers, but from both of the photographs I've seen that you guys have done with this specific figure, he looked great to me. So,
thank you. Good.
Oh, thank you.
It's still a good-looking figure. I just think they missed the boat. They've done some sculpted hair on the other Hobbits, which you have, TJ.
No, I tried to buy a Frodo last week on Big Bad Toy Store, but it sold out.
Okay, those are good. They did a good job on those, and this one it's very heavy-handed. That's all I can say. So,
but I still like it a lot.
Yeah. Clothing's great. This is a cool figure, man.
I was so excited when they announced this.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed like goes back to kind of a time in my life when I was just starting to play video games again, and like this concept of this assassin like walked around with all of these blades, like just like it was amazing at the time, and so I had to pick it up, and like I'm not disappointed with the figure. I wish the hood was done a little bit better.
What about the hood don't you like?
So the peak, it's all like one piece. Like if you look at the games and like any other like rendering or drawing, like it really stands out. Like it kind of comes over a little bit. But this, like I might have to Photoshop my next portrait shot of this figure and just make it like actually stand out and come down a little bit more.
Interesting.
But the accessories are like, Damn Toys like did a really good job.
Yeah.
The Hot Toys one, the peak is very pronounced. So I see what you're saying.
It's very unpronounced on this one.
Yeah,
so now I'm not up on this because I'm not. I mean, I've played the game briefly, but I didn't get into it. So is this So there was a Hot Toys version of this. Is this
same character? So this is from the very first Assassin's Creed game.
okay?
The Hot Toys version is on the most popular version of Assassin's Creed, which is Assassin's Creed 2,
Right.
Brotherhood. Well, it's really only from 2.
Right.
Right. Through those games, and that's what Hot Toys did. And then there's been other versions of Assassin's Creed characters that Damn Toys has also done too.
But Damn is this now? Damn Toys is this licensed or no?
Yes, it's licensed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Seems like they're doing. TJ and I have talked about this in the past. I hope that they do a new Ezio, which is the one that I have from Hot Toys, but in like maybe a later style, because from what I've seen, and what TJ has shown. They look like they have great respect for the series and the figures.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You don't have the Edward Kenway one, right?
No, I didn't like Black Flag because
I mean,
thing about me, I'm not a big Pirates person, so.
No, like the everything about it was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, he looked great. Matt Roll the Hard Six has him, so we've talked about a bunch, and he looks awesome. So, and we have also talked about the movie Assassin's Creed figure before. Even that one, even though the movie didn't do well, that figure looks great.
Yeah,
it does.
It's a cool looking figure. Again, it's like something. Well, actually, in 1/6, I could see having a lot of fun with this. Shooting this is another one that you could probably shoot outside a lot. Yeah. A lot of sunlight shots over the shoulder and things like that would be very, very cool. The rooftop things, and yeah, it could be fun. Definitely fun. I know Toy Spot had some. He posted on one of our groups today that he had like 3 of them or something.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, why are
you doing this to me? Don't do this to me.
I will tell you, it was very tempting. If he had
and it was nice of him. It was nice of him to offer that. He had a bunch of them. I know he does raffles and things like that. The Black Panther you pre-ordered, TJ?
I pre-ordered the Black Panther. Like at first, like I wasn't crazy about the new mask. Mm-hmm. I was more of a Civil War mask guy kind of guy. I haven't come in. I haven't gotten the Sideshow shipping notice.
Okay.
I'm not that anxious to get it. I can wait.
Okay.
March, I believe. I got an update on mine for March, I think.
Really?
What is due?
Not for me. Doctor Strange, I think, is coming next week. Did you order this, Tom?
No, because there's not enough of a variation from the original Doctor Strange figure. So I'm waiting for Doctor Strange 2 to see what they do with that. Yeah. Just the new head sculpt is the only main difference besides accessories. So I was like, I like the head sculpt on the first one enough that I didn't need to upgrade.
Yeah, I don't see enough of a difference. I mean, people had opinions. I like this one a lot, and I thought it was better at first when I saw it, and then I went back and looked at the other one, and I was like, that's pretty good too. They're both really, really good.
No, the first one was amazing.
Yeah, they really nailed the and your shots of it, Tom, were amazing. And and it was another one like the Netflix Punisher from TJ's shots and your shots that just it hurts my heart to look at them because they look so good. So I think I might have to break down and get this before because I know it's going to be waitlisted any day now. I just know it.
Just looking at the way how the price on the original one, how that spiked to the $800 range.
Oh, insane.
That was nuts.
I know. I was killing.
I feel bad for those people that bought it and to have like a week later for this one to be dropped because I'm like, at the same time, when it was out, they've showed it in the background of other pictures. Do a little bit of diligence and just wait a little bit.
I'm wondering what they're going to do to it because that they're thinking marketing in terms of the next movie. Like Doctor Strange never really changed all that much. I mean, granted, I wasn't a huge Doctor Strange fan with comic books in the 80s and stuff, but as far as I remember, he had like a black suit at one point, but I don't remember if he ever didn't.
He had a whole bunch of different colors, especially these days. So what I like about the MCU is that they pull a lot from modern, but they pay attention to the past. So, he's had full-on red suits. He's had full-on black suits. He had suits that covered his entire face. He's had.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, I do remember.
So there's a lot for them to play with. I do hope that they kind of keep it more towards the classic because this is my favorite look. But there's a lot of tailoring things that you can kind of do differently. Though I do think straight out of the gate, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see your shots of this guy, TJ.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, Doctor Strange 2.0 was one of those figures I didn't think I needed. And then there was, I got home and I was tired and stressed from work, and I may have tapped the Rockies a lot, and I pre-ordered it, and so now it's coming.
Damn you, Colorado!
It charged today, and it's coming next week, I think.
Silver bullet right to your wallet.
That's right.
My wallet is full of holes.
I think you're going to be so impressed with it, mainly because from the neck down, it is the exact same figure, and it is my favorite figure in this entire collection over here.
So I've read that the cape is a lot shorter.
Oh,
really?
Okay. That's
Like
not a huge problem.
It's not, you know, whatever. Like,
why would they change that even at all?
I don't know.
Like
But apparently everything else is the same except the sculpt and the cape.
Yeah. And then you're going to get new hands too. You have 2 extra magic hands that I want to.
Oh, no, I did not know that. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've extensively have looked at this figure and I know what I'm missing.
You'll be able to do this.
It's my 267 right there.
That. And you got Thanos. You pre-ordered Thanos?
So, yes.
Or are you just looking at the cart right now with the finger hovering? Just
No, so like I've been sitting on a lot of extra like gift cards and like.
Oh, nice.
So this morning.
That's the way to go.
Oh wow, that's quick.
So this morning, so this is kind of a random sad story. Like someone I knew that had a profound impact on like my young life. Like I saw like a Facebook posting like he like just randomly like passed away.
Oh.
And so I'm like, all right, I took that in. Then I'm looking at like all of these like Thanos pictures and like I was like, all right, like I have like, extra money. Let me pre-order this from Hong Kong for a lot more than it's actually fucking worth. Let me enjoy my life because I don't know if I'm gonna like not be here tomorrow.
I see what.
Okay. That's what happened this morning.
There you go.
I think it's coming next week.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, damn. Sometimes you get these figures because you'll pre-order from Hong Kong, and I hate you for it because I have to sit here for sometimes 2, 3, 4 months. Like my Loki, I don't think is due until when was the original release date for Loki? Like June. I think that's when I'm getting mine because I'm sticking to my payment plan because I have a budget and I have to stick to it.
No, but like all of these Hong Kong figures, like I will only like take the plunge if I have like gift cards or like just like excess money because like it's a lot more. Obviously, as you know.
Oh yeah.
But those demo shots this morning from literally like every Hot Toys blogger were like just astounding.
Yeah.
Movie perfect, as I would use that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't really been anything that's come out that I can think of that I really needed to have that I would have paid. There was a couple of them that I almost did, but that I would have paid that extra for. I don't know.
Anything even outside of 1/6, maybe like 1/12.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go for the 1/12 stuff. I'll go to the like a Me and get. I mean, it's cheaper, obviously. You know, if you can pre-order the SH figure arts and stuff like that. But in terms of like buying from the Hong Kong dealers who charge you an extra whatever 70, 80, I don't even know. It's TJ $100 extra sometimes.
It ranges it's like 100 and up.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like they're expensive enough as it is. I don't need it, 4 months in advance. I see the appeal sometimes, but I've never had anything so far that I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait another month for that. So I'm sure it'll happen, but I haven't done it yet.
I think I've only done it like 4 times.
Yeah.
And one of those times
was a good one. And if you got gift cards, screw it,
And like Infinity War Thor like got stuck in like New York Customs for.
Yeah, I got mine before you got yours.
3 weeks.
Oh,
yeah, and I paid
first.
Nah.
Yeah, stuck in Jamaica. I know. It's killing me.
But that one, I will say, that one was worth it because that one's. I mean, speaking of Thor figures, before we jump on the discussion, that Thor figure is the peak. I don't think they're going to be able to top that, and I don't think that they will even try because it looks like he's wearing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But man, what a good figure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's jump on to our topic, which this time is protecting 1/6 clothing. So this is just going to be a series of horrifying photos that some of you already recognize. So now, TJ and I were talking before we got on, Tom, like, I'm trying to hesitate. I don't think I've had this happen with anything yet. How about you?
So before I left New England, no. Once I moved out to California,
the ocean,
let me tell you, I could point at most of my figures and tell you where all the damage is.
That is humidity.
Humidity, I think a lot of it has to be the fact that I am 3 blocks away from the Pacific Ocean.
And the salt.
It's always warm weather, so you have the doors open constantly, and all that stuff comes in the air. It's different, you know, when... Yeah. But I've had, some humidity damage on leather, namely Star-Lord's backpack.
Really?
One day, his backpack just separated and just ripped off.
Wow.
And I hadn't even, this is before I even did figure photography, so he's never left the house, he's never left the case. And it just deteriorated to the point of just falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the thing. And like, you know, the majority of these things, and they're probably the majority of these pictures I pulled from Facebook, are probably people, you know, like I hear a lot of it in Indonesia because it's, the humidity there is just crazy. And they're in rooms and people will say like, you know, I don't have the air conditioning on. I'm like, well, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's it. That humidity is just going to destroy it.
Sometimes though you don't even realize, because I don't need air conditioning here because I have the ocean breeze, but I guess it's the ocean breeze that's actually doing the damage.
It could be. It could very well be. Yeah. I mean, that's like, we're near the water. I mean, I'm across from the canal and, you know, we have a salt bay down the street, but it doesn't really affect us. I mean, I'm not that close that I think it's affecting anything.
Where is your figure room in your house located?
Well, that's the key. I'm in the basement right now, and like I said, it's about probably like 56 degrees down here right now.
I would imagine that's the perfect temperature to actually keep those figures in pristine condition.
The light is always low. It's my studio as well, so I'm usually have the lights off, and I keep it low. These lights are hardly ever on because I'm hardly, you know, unless I'm shooting, and then I turn them off. So all that stuff, and that's another thing, is sunlight. And at one point I had them upstairs in a room that just, you know, my wife would like to keep the blinds up, and I would just freak out. I'd run in there and the blinds were up and the sun is just hitting all my figures, and I'm like, oh my God, no. So I got them out of there, but that's another killer, is the sunlight.
For sure. I collect a lot of, outside of figures, I collect a lot of screen printed artwork.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have a glass top flat file coffee table that I put my favorite piece of the month. I rotated out.
Oh, nice.
And I learned for a while, if I kept it anywhere in there longer than a month, guess what's going to happen? Sun damage. I have a lot of prints that are very bright and vibrant along an edge where
oh God,
it does not hit, and then the rest of it's kind of faded a little bit.
Oh, that's a killer.
Yeah. So I've learned my lesson there.
Yeah. Now, could you, just as a side note, can you get UV glass for the top of it or something like that might stop that?
Yes, that's an option for the coffee table itself. However, I've been told that like even my prints hanging on the wall have UV glass, but even that will only protect against so much.
Okay.
Yeah, you might have the wrong thing happen, and you never know.
So TJ, where you got your stuff? You're in New York. Well.
Yeah. So
and,
I have 2 display cases decals in our second bedroom, which is, I don't keep the heater on because when we moved in here about 1.5 years ago, I decided to put the decals right next to the radiator. So I keep the radiator off. That second bedroom is 55 degrees in the winter. Everything else it's relatively like protected. I was worried that the Deadpool 1.0, it was exposed to the sun for a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Like I've been lucky so far. The only thing I've done is like damage my Infinity War Thor arms.
Oh, that's right.
That has nothing to do with you at all. Because let me tell you, I told you my road worn Thor never rarely leaves the case, and yet for some odd reason his inner forearms, the paint just started flaking away, and I'm like, that. Why did that even happen?
Wow.
So just. Yeah.
Those are the full
seamless arms,
jointed arms, right? Yeah.
That's why I won't buy a Wonder Woman. I really want a Wonder Woman for my collection, especially because I want to get the Trinity. I have Batman. I want to get Superman. But Wonder Woman being a full body seamless figure, I'm worried about the knees. I'm worried about the arms. I'm worried about the shoulder. Now I'm worried about the neck. It's just.
I got to tell you though, those Fisons don't do that. I don't understand the Thor. I don't understand why he even has some sort of layer that could peel off like that. I mean, those are
speckled
silicone.
Yeah, but they speckle. It looks like pores on. They painted his arms. So
well, see, that's the mistake. Yeah, I don't think you're going to have that with Wonder Woman. I don't think they're going to be doing, like details on her arms like that. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm just worried about it. But you guys live on the East Coast. You guys, in the winter, you have the heat on. You're trying to maintain a specific climate inside your house.
Yeah.
So I think that you're not going to get a lot of damage because pretty much you're also trying to contain a human being in the house, where keeping it cool in the summertime and keeping it warm in the wintertime, but pretty much even keel around 70, I'd imagine, somewhere around there.
Right.
Which is probably ideal for figures.
It is, but I'm in a basement, and there's there's humidity down here. There's water. There's things that are, there's water flowing through here and things like that. And it's just a concrete block.
You have a dehumidifier?
I do have a dehumidifier. That's what I was getting at. I got a dehumidifier, so that's key too. I mean, if you're in anything there's gonna be any humidity, you got to have a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
Yep. Smoke and smell. I don't smoke. There's no problem there. I don't have the pets around my stuff. I know that's always like a thing that people put. I'm just afraid like people are going to see my pictures with all the smoke, fog, and I can't possibly say that this has just been posed on a shelf. Never touched. I'm gonna have to full disclosure. I'm gonna say, yeah, I use these things.
I will say I understand that and I appreciate that. As a fellow collector, I bought my Nightmare Batman from a collector on Facebook, who told me great condition, blah blah blah. He came. I opened that box. Let me tell you, it was like diving into an ashtray.
Oh,
and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh my god. So I locked him away in my storage unit with dryer sheets, baking powder, all of this stuff. And it took 6 months for that smell to be taken away. But yeah,
that's some bullshit. I mean, like I smoked a long time ago as a teenager, and like you just don't even know that it smells. You know what I mean? It's like a normal thing, and like the guy probably put it up to his nose, like, yeah, smells like everything else in my house. It's fine. It's clean.
I wrote to him the next day, and I was like, do you understand that this thing smells like an ashtray? And he's like, oh, I had some friends over, and they were smoking. I'm like, this is not a one night everybody had a cigarette kind of thing. This is living in a house where everybody's fucking chain smoking.
Yeah. We're all smoking for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So pleather treatment. So this is also, I mean, it's not the humidity. If the humidity's bad, the humidity's bad. If the temperature is bad, if you get it in sunlight, it's not going to help at all. But there is this stuff that I was told about, and this is what I use, this Trinova faux leather conditioner and cleaner. Twice a year, spray it on, rub it in with a clean cloth, and I haven't had any problems. Again, I don't have the humidity problem, so I don't know if, I'm sure that's the majority of the reason that they're still in good condition, but I still put this stuff on. It's really good.
I'd say this is probably the majority of why they're in good condition. Look at this. This looks like something that would cost me a fortune at a salon. Are you kidding me? This is like a fancy bottle of leather treatment.
I know. I think it's only like $6 or something like that. It's not bad, but it looks beautiful. It's a great packaging. Very nice.
Yes, very nice. Trinova.
But I highly recommend this, regardless of whether I'm not endorsed by these guys or anything. It's really it's a good product, and it's really
expecting a hand to come in from out of screen and just give you a wad of cash.
Right.
Yeah.
Overhandling, obviously. Now this is a problem. I don't. If I have a white, like with like Princess Leia, if I posed her and now I have a more expensive custom dress on her, I will use gloves. But I'm not one of these guys that every time I take out like the white gloves and put on to touch every figure. I don't. I realize the oils will degrade things over time, but I don't feel like I handle them enough to really have an effect on them. But I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I will say every time I go to do a photo shoot with my figures, I go to the sink, I wash my hands, make sure they're clean. Other than that, I don't wear gloves either.
Yeah. I mean, we take them outside. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people are just overly cautious, and I'm sure that's going to pay off in the end. They'll have theirs like for another 3 or 4 years beyond when mine are falling apart. But
that's the thing. You might get an extra year or two out of it, but at the end of the day, they're using a material that is natural and it will degrade over time.
But anything white, I mean, definitely, you can't wash your hands enough to keep the oils off that, and I've learned that the hard way.
I don't think I have any white figures, actually.
And I don't know if this is something you guys do, but depending on the figure, depending on how much I care about the way it looks in terms of authenticity, I will add some weathering to some of the figures. I don't do it often, but there's just certain figures, usually, strangely, the more expensive ones that I do this to. You know,
Which ones?
Like the custom ones, like, you know, the $800-900 ones.
What do you use for weathering?
Well, I just learned of like a leather paint now that works really well, so I'm going to get some of that. But I've used the Tamiya brush on. Yeah, weathering powders.
Is that like a silver and things like that for metal, or?
Yeah, but they also have them for dust and dirt and oil and grime. So for jackets, like a leather jacket that you really want to look worn as opposed to pristine, the way it comes out of the box with Hot Toys, it does a really good job. I don't think that has a deteriorating effect on it. I was just watching a talk to Jake Ramier, TJ, about how he got the creases on his Indiana Jones jackets to stay. And he actually puts fabric stiffener. He sprays it inside the jacket.
Oh.
So that's almost stiff. Now, it looks great, and I'm just wondering, like, what kind of damage is that doing to something like that? I mean, that's real leather, so it's a difference, but still, that always worries me. But you guys any other tips about keeping things, like, have you ever had to get to repair anything, or?
The most I've ever had to do is just, glue small things back on. Like, I've had a lot of things on guns or something like that kind of slightly come off, so just like a little dab of super glue and then just hold it back, and it's great.
Kills me. Yeah.
I do have a question for you. Because I've had an issue, namely with my Vision figure that I could pull out of the display case, but he has always been hovering above my Avengers, and throughout the course of me having that figure has been in great condition until last October. I took him out to take a photo, and between the last time I took him out and that other time, which was probably only 2 months,
right?
Apparently, the stand decided to mold itself into the material that his suit is made of.
Whoa!
So now the side of him is all battle damaged up, and I don't know, how do you prevent something like that? Is it really just don't use the flight stands anymore? And if so, how can you ever display these figures in a flight capacity?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't have an answer for you. Did it have like a rubber pad in the on the flight stand?
Yeah, it's a typical Hot Toys flight stand.
Okay, like the little gripper, yeah.
Yeah, a little gripper. But I'll show you. Kind of looks like one of those horror photos that you showed off. But you can kind of see here.
Oh, wow. Gee.
Yeah. And it happened on both sides, where a little less on this side here.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and I made sure when he was in the actual flight stand that nothing was bunching up, because with this suit you can kind of see there's no folds in any of the suit anywhere, because this, just like Spider-Man, you have to worry about things sticking to itself or creases and stuff like that.
Right.
And then actually, when I first got this guy, I had his arm bent, I think like that much, and the suit decided to stick to the suit. So I'm like, okay, straight all across the board, this is how he's going to be posed, kind of flying. But I guess the stand decided to just have its way.
Wow. So it did have that little, like, semi-rubbery pad inside the grippers, right?
Like a neoprene, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what was touching it, and that's what stuck to it. There's parts of the suit on that neoprene now.
The only thing I can think of is maybe that's like next time around you rip that stuff off and you just leave it plastic. I mean, I know that's kind of what grips it, but as long as it's tight around the waist, maybe that won't happen. And I got to tell you, it's probably something to do with your humidity as well, right? I mean, the material reacting, because I got a Boba Fett up there on a flight stand. It's not the same material as Vision would have, but
I wouldn't think that the Boba Fett would have an issue, because I have the.
It's got material on it, so it's not like it's not that plastic.
That stuff, oddly, is very rubbery to the point where if you were to even take two of those figures together and rub them, they would not glide. They would totally stick to each other, and you'd have a hard time. So it's a material that is very interesting to use for an action figure. But I guess
I wonder if it's more the fault of the material than just reacting with whatever that was on that grip, and there wasn't really anything you could do except take that grip off of there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of learning that if it's that material, no flight. But like my Doctor Strange, because like Boba Fett, it's cloth.
Yeah,
he flies just fine on his flight stand, and there's never been even a question of whether or not there's an issue.
Now, TJ, like you guys have this. Well, you have the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, the Infinity War Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is that the similar material, Tom? Like, is that the same? It's a different type of material.
That is a different type of material.
That's slicker, and it's got a little less flaky, maybe. In terms
I don't know what this is. I was told by a friend this was the Arkham Knight material.
That's what I have, the Arkham Knight, and seeing that guy at San Diego, it seemed like the exact same material.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really reference it, so like I've only had it in a handful of dynamic poses. I got some creasing. It went away, I would say, by like 90% with no heat. It just eventually just came back, but it's in a museum pose. I'm not.
I think I saw something actually today, believe it or not, or maybe it was yesterday. I think it was the Homecoming Spider-Man, and somebody had that on a flight stand, and it almost left. Maybe it's the same thing, Tom, that you had, but it was a dark mark, almost like it like bruised the material or something like that. It was very strange. Like it was a dark little piece of material underneath the flight stand. So
the Homecoming Spider-Man is one that I wouldn't put in a flight stand as well for the exact same reason. As,
maybe the same thing, yeah.
It's definitely an entirely different material, but just by playing with that Spider-Man, I could tell how fragile that material is. And I could see it having, especially the blue parts of that suit, having some issues.
So the moral, kids, is no flight stands. Stay away from flight stands. Don't put anybody in a flight stand. Throw them out.
I'm off the flight stands.
No flight stands.
I love flight stands. I like flying characters. I want them to fly.
All right. So that is our show. This was a good one. I had fun. You guys?
Yeah. Definitely a lot longer than your hopes for.
We went long, but we hope everybody's still just like kind of listening to this in their headphones and enjoying this while they're doing their work, like we probably would. Yeah, it's good, and I think we're going to be doing more of these. We'll see how often, maybe a couple weeks, maybe once a month. We'll see what we do, but we're going to try and get some guests and things on. Some people in the business, some people around the business, photographers, collectors, etc. Yeah, so stay tuned and stick with us. Thanks for watching.